Welcome, Dipti ma'am.
Yes, thank you.
I'll start, ma'am.
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Oh, yes,
Okay.
sure.
Yeah. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Aarti Swami, Assistant Professor from the Department of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering, Walchand Institute of Technology, Solapur. On behalf of Walchand Institute of Technology, Solapur, I extend a very warm welcome to all the participants to Day 4 of our industry collaborated 1 week national level faculty development program on AI powered teaching excellence. Organized in association with our industry partners, iTech Robotics and Automation Private Limited and Technova Solutions Private Limited. We are delighted to have all of you with us today and hope that the sessions conducted so far have been insightful and enriching. As we continue this journey of learning and exploring innovative approaches in education, we are honored to have a distinguished academician and researcher with us for today's session. It is now privileged to introduce our esteemed resource person, Dr. Deepti Patil ma'am. Dr. Deepti Patil ma'am is currently serving as the Dean of Student Affairs and Professor in the Department of Information Technology at Cummins College of Engineering for Women's Pune and brings over 22 years of academic and research experience. She is recognized PhD supervisor with experience in expertise in artificial intelligence, data science, IoT, and emerging technologies, and has been honored for her valuable contribution to academics and research. We are truly honored to have you with us today, ma'am. Without further delay, I respectfully invite Dr. Deepti Patil, ma'am, to kindly take over the session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this introduction of mine. And I'm really thankful to all the organizers of WIT and Department of Electronics and Telecommunication for giving me this opportunity as being an academician. And I could see that workshop is aimed at industrial collaboration, and where I can contribute and put forth my experiences using AI, and being a teacher, being a researcher, how we faculty can exchange the thoughts and discuss on the things that how technology can disrupt. It can also be used in positive and negative ways, and then how the ethics are important, where we should, we as teachers should take utmost care for our students and for ourselves to being ethical while using these AI tools. So thank you so much. Let me share my presentation. So hopefully the presentation is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Uh, so you can see this jazzy presentation, and I also thought that being a teacher, we mainly focus on the contents, but it is very much important for the presentation. And then when we want to balance ourselves into the content and this presentation, how we can balance it at a time using technology. So I also tried to explore some kind of AI tools for making the presentation. And if you can see, some of the slides are very much simpler, and some of the slides you can see very much, you can say, a jazzy or very much insightful with diagrams and backgrounds, everything. But if you can just think of doing the same thing yourself, what, how much time you would have taken for it, and if I have used some kind of a generative AI or AI tools for generating these slides. Of course, the content is mine, the research and the efforts taken of are mine, but obviously the presentation, it is being used or help is taken by AI tools. So we can see how there can be a balance between the technology and the human intelligence. And that's why that much of explanation I have given you here. So our today's topic focused on research because we faculty, as it is a faculty development program, I'm assuming all our faculties. So we all faculty now there is a mandatory thing that you should use or we should do research. I would say that it should not be actually a mandatory thing. Research is not a mandatory thing. It should be a passion. Research should be a passion, but still, as there are certain things coming in academical research, it is sometimes forcible, but it will help you to get the in-depth knowledge, and that's why I will say that research is an integrated part of any kind of academic environment. So we can see here that the research cycle, if we can see, we have a problem when we started our research as a PhD, when pursuing a PhD, or even if a MTech project, or nowadays people are doing postdoc, and also we as a PhD supervisors also go through all these research phases. So one role of R is a mentor, and a second time we can also be a mentee. So as a mentor and mentee, how we can make a use of these AI tools ethically so that it will be efficient enough and also effective enough, and being an ethically responsible mentor or mentee. So these are the proper phases like problem identification, literature review, we may say research design, data acquisition and cleaning, analysis and modeling, writing and dissemination, peer review. All these things here, all these phases, now many of the AI tools are available. And being faculty, I would also accept that I don't know much of the tools which are really very much effective enough to reduce the man efforts and help us to, you can say, accelerate our research. So that's why we can say AI is an acceleration, or it is a mechanics of research, where human researchers remain the ultimate decision makers and validators at a single root. So we should be our decision makers, what to take, what not to take, but AI can accelerate our research. Now, why this topic, ethical AI for research? So these are some of the things which is actually shattering us, and then it is said that we should take care of all these things. So we have the tools available, but now how these tools to be used and whether these tools are blindly used or not should not be, right? So that is actually the concern, and here are some of the news you can check out that hallucinations. So AI hallucinations are infiltrating the expert work. This is one of the incidents took place at Columbia University. One of the professors who used some of the AI tools for just, you can say, just formatting or grammar checking of his particular manuscript, and when he submitted it, he got a call or he got some kind of comments where when he said that there are the references and that references are not matching. So this is the cases where we should be very much careful enough while making use of the AI tools for research. This is the second type of, you can say, the disadvantage or the precautions where we should take care of. You can check a false authorship. A person, a researcher is not knowing that he has written some paper, and one of the paper with his name is already been published by some of the journals. You can we as researchers are facing these problems that many journals are predatory journals. Many journals require getting an ISSN or getting a Scopus indexing, they need to publish some initial articles with good researchers, right? And that time they may make use of some name of some of the renowned researchers. Such kind of malpractices are taking places. So here we should see that how we can uh, come over this, how we can take precautions while using some kind of AI tools for our research. So this is one of the case called as false authorship. There are certain kinds of there are certain instances we also came to know about the things like most many of the articles got published and then later it is retracted. So we have various researchers indexes, right? So Scopus indexing, everything. Why it is very important? Because it is giving you some kind of you can say quality verification of your work. Okay, because those journals are peer reviewed. This is a disclaimer. We know what is the actual thing, but most of the index journals we say they are quality papers. But sometimes because of this use of technology, it happens that some of the papers which are being published are totally written by AI, or there is not a mere or a lot of contribution or genuine contribution of researchers. And then if such kind of papers are published in the renowned journals and then it is been when it is been detected, it is retracted. So retraction is one of kind of an, we can say, an insulting position for us as a researcher. And even if it has happened that sometimes the paper of art is very much genuine, but because of most of the papers were retracted and they were not ethically written, the whole volume gets cancelled, and that time the one of the papers is asked which was genuine enough. But that is also one of the things where researcher index of the person or the faculty we can say it is like a defaming of a thing. So we should also take care of all these things which are happening. So so there are two ways. First is how we can accelerate our research and how we can take precautions where our research will not affected. It is genuine enough. It is technically contributed by a genuine human researcher which is presented to the world, because when we are presenting or publishing, it is not just publishing but someone is referring it. So it is like publishing a wrong thing or wrong text in a book and school students are referring it. This should not happen, right? So that's why publishing is really a very much ethical thing, and there should be ethical guidelines has to be followed for this. So as I said, as a researcher, when we can say we are a mentee or a student or a research student, we have to take care of all these things. Similar kind of thing when a role changes as a mentor. Okay, so then when you are saying no, you are a PhD supervisor, you have to take care. It is your responsibility too, because your name is associated with that researcher. And when your name is associated with that researcher, obviously if such kind of retraction, if such kind of plagiarism things are reported, then with that research scholar, it is just a single research scholar, but we being a supervisor, a face of many students, when gets defamed, it is like a wrong message going to the academic, this is not good for any academician. So this is, if such kind of thing happens, many times the researcher gets blacklisted, or we cannot guide. It may happen that our research supervisorship may go on, or withdrawal of supervisor rights may happen, and that's why we need to very much take care of it, and hence ethical AI is very much important. So this news, most of the researchers or most of the faculty may have came across that based on such kind of incidences, now UGC has also revised the guidelines for PhD scholars. Okay, what are those guidelines? Like you now AI doesn't remain, like we cannot say that AI can't be used. So now the system is saying you can use the AI, but for what purpose has to be decided. Okay, and that is the very much important thing. So unacknowledged AI generated content is now treated as a similarity to plagiarism. We know that in the different plagiarism detection software like Turnitin, it gives the AI flag in percentage also. Now the totally content which is been generated by AI will be considered as plagiarism. The core content of any PhD thesis must be an original work of the researcher, and if you, for that writing that thesis, minimum assistance or for the language correction and editing has to be taken. So that type of guidelines are issued by the UGC. What are the different actions which can be which will be taken for such kind of plagiarism if it is detected? So it is also written that when 10 to 40% the thesis will be written for revision within 6 months, or if it is 40 to 60%, the scholars are barred from the thesis submission for 1 year, and if it is found as above 60%, the PhD registration can also be cancelled. So sometimes it happens that this is not been done deliberately by the research scholar, but it may happen that this happens because of the unawareness. And that's why such sessions and such brainstorming thing is important when you are going to use the AI tools, because this workshop is related to how AI tools can be used in academics. So for what and for what not should be decided, at what level should be used has to be decided. Now, when we are talking about research, it is not restricted to only postgraduate or PhD level. At UG level itself, now the research methodology kind of courses are introduced, and UG students are also encouraged to do the research. Now, for that purpose, when we are asking students to write papers or things, then you as a faculty has to be very much caution to see that the student has not just generated the research paper, because I have seen the students who have written a paper in a single day or single night. Okay, just they have taken it as an assignment and they are publishing it with the good conferences like IEEE and all, and it is been indexed also in Scopus. So this is happening, but then we as a research supervisor has to take care of these things, that whether the particular student has genuinely studied the topics and written the paper. It may that for writing purpose it is been some kind of generative AI tools are being used, but at what level, the levels are given here. You can see the what percentage is permissible or not permissible, and what kind of the actions can be taken on the students, and that is also percolated to the faculty too. So that's why it is now mandatory for the PhD thesis has to be uploaded on Shodh Ganga, as at our university also those theses are getting uploaded, so that no one just copies it, no one just paraphrase the thesis and submit it as its own PhD, because such kind of incidences also have occurred, where that's why these plagiarism checks are getting very much stringent, rules are applied. So there are certain show the Shuddhi program is there, Turnitin, Drillbit or the Authenticate, such kind of softwares which are rigorously checking for plagiarism are being made strict or made mandatory to provide or submit the report before submission of thesis, and the percentage of plagiarism is provided. So this is all important to know for us. So why it is so? For promoting the academic integrity, because it happens when you are giving some references, the citations which we are giving, has to be like when you're writing something, by default you're getting the copyrights on it, and then if you're using the same copyright content for your research or publishing it on your net, it is obviously the violation of laws, and hence for academic integrity these type of laws are very important. So it has to prevent the misuse of generative AI in research, ensure the originality and credibility of the doctoral research, and standardize the ethical research practices across institutions. So we have to see that when this type of thing, for we as faculty also have a challenge. If we are unknown about a particular thing, that let's say the nowadays we have seen many of the session. I have also attended some of the session of this FDP. So it has been said that you can just use a cursor.ai and you can just create one kind of like I want to design a particular website for particular shop or e-marketing, like that e-commerce platform has to be developed and it gets developed. Okay, so if we are giving some kind of assignment to our students, such kind of thing, and students are generating this type of website using this kind of generative AI tool, if we are unaware of such kind of tools are there, and if we are not able to detect whether a student has done a genuine work or not, it will always be some kind of bias on the students who have done it genuinely. So this is also very much important. So responsible AI and ethical AI, both the things are very important. I will just give the difference between this responsible AI and ethical AI shortly. Now, so what is ethical AI when we are talking about it? It refers to respect human values, ensures fairness, it should protect the privacy, maintains the transparency, promotes accountability, and prevents harm. Now, how it is so? So when a particular thing, like when I'm just querying a chat GPT, give something to me, okay, when it is giving me that particular query answer, it should be taken as a raw AI output always. It should not be the final outcome, and it should go through these 6 filters. As a faculty, we have to take care of these 6 filters, check whether whatever output is generated by generative AI is valid scientific insight or not. The first is fairness, ensuring the equitable treatment across all demographic groups. Now, what do you mean by this? You can just see different things. The different, we can call it as pillars also. We can call it as filters also. So when you are considering some kind of, now I declare that this all these jazzy type of PPTs, I haven't made it. I have given the inputs and I have made it through the different generative AI like Notebook LM, Notebook LM, or some kind of Microsoft PowerPoint. It has its kind of generating the PPTs for us. So the content is mine, but the things are portrayed with such kind of generative AI tools, and it looks really very impactful. So when we are saying about these 6 pillars, when you are saying about fairness, what do you mean by that? So when you are talking about fairness, so when you query ChatGPT about the particular query that explain me this, okay, you have to see the result which you have got is really been given based on considering the different facts and not some kind of biased contents, right? So AI system should treat all individuals and groups equitably. Now, when I am asking about Indian patent law, it will refer the Indian patent law only. But when I am not giving any kind of specific context, it will consider the all groups. Okay, so that's why, for example, like am I will I be able to patent a software? Okay, it is not possible. Let's say for with the Indian patent, but it may possible patent act. But for the other countries, it is allowable. You will see such kind of case study later also. So that fairness is important. transparency, when you're saying that many times I'm repeating when I have started my presentation that these PPTs are not generated by me the way it is looking like. This kind of a transparency. So we can say that you should say that all the decisions and processes should be explainable and open to scrutiny. Scrutiny. Okay. So that type of transparency has to be maintained. Accountability, who has made it, okay, giving a proper citations, the not taking the credits or giving the credits who have made it, that accountability, and then taking that type of you can say responsibility for that particular matter is very much important. Privacy and safety, when you're talking about, like, let's say the research is about the healthcare, and then you're using the data of the patients of some kind of some hospital, okay, and then it is very much important to follow or keep that privacy, the data which is been disclosed, anonymize that data so that privacy is maintained. Okay, it is very much important. Sometimes it happens that many times we are like we are in hurry and we want an instant answers, and that time we upload some documents which are actually confidential for your, maybe for your institution, but still you are uploading some signatures, you are uploading some kind of logos, and that time actually you are breaching the privacy, confidentiality, and then there is a safety concerns. So that is very much important to think about when you're thinking that I want to have the AI should be used ethically. So AI system should be robust, secure, and aligned to the minimize harm and risk. That is very important, because once you have uploaded something, that is a privacy breach, but the same thing is used for something else. Now we are talking about deep fake videos and all, and it is happening, and then the privacy and safety concerns take place, where we have to take care of it. And always there should be a human oversight. The human in loop is important when it is the use, where there is an AI or use of AI. So AI should augment the human intelligence. Human should remain in control of critical decisions. It is not in a research that we are asking the generative AI itself to draw the conclusions. It should not happen. So ethical AI is not just a technology, but it is about the values, responsibility, and impact we create for society. Because research is not just a like academic output or the matter of getting some kind of API score, but we are delivering some new things, new facts to the society, which can enhance or technically enhance the societal or solve the societal problems. And hence it is very much important that these 6 filters to be put or to be imposed while using any kind of generative AI or AI data. I must say, I will not say only generative, because AI itself, it's like a huge umbrella where many things are happening, and generative AI is one of the part of it, but such kind of things should take care of all these pillars. So based on that, we can say that we have these 5 pillars saying the fairty. We call it as fairty, FAIR. Transparency, where fairness, accountability, integrity, reliability, and transparency takes place, and we as researchers should take care of it. So what can be the different, you can say, the problems that may occur? We all know about the plagiarism. We know about the decisions. Now many times as supervisor, our research scholar take one synthetic data, apply some algorithm. They just take the libraries or import the library of some algorithm. Nowadays students or the research scholar don't implement any of the algorithm. They just take the library, apply it on the particular data, and then draw certain conclusions or draw some give some kind of percentage. Okay, but then we always ask the question, and then they compare this thing with the research or the publication or the published research which has been published in some another papers. And then there is a question that if the data set is not same, how you can say the result, how the results are comparable. Okay, so there can always be the biased decisions based on what we want. Okay, but research don't say that whatever you want to prove should be proved. Then there will not be any kind of hypothesis testing, but always there is a hypothesis and you need to either approve or disapprove that particular thing. Okay, so but nowadays the trend of research scholar is like you have to just put some kind of efficient and accurate some machine learning algorithm for this, and then they start proving it, taking the some new models and just showing it that see how the results are better. But I haven't came across the thing or came across such kind of research where the researcher is saying I have uh, put down or I have stated this hypothesis, but when I experimented, this gave me the different result and hence this hypothesis is disapproved. Okay, that type of research, rigorous research has to be carried out, but then we see the biases on it. Okay, talking about privacy violation with respect to the research, let's say type of healthcare, sometimes researchers do some kind of fabrication in result. Researchers themselves don't do it, but it may use some kind of tools through which they can get such kind of research. Okay, there are, so when you are saying this, you can check out that many times in public, when you publish a paper, you get a review comments. Okay, publish a paper means you apply for publishing or submit a paper for publishing. It always give you the comments like you haven't disclosed the configuration, the different type of you can say the parameters which have been used. Why? Because reproducibility is very much important. So when the research is not genuine, you are the researcher scholar are not able to disclose the things whether the particular same thing can be reproducible stated by whatever disclosure of processes, parameters, configurations given in the paper or a publication or a thesis. Okay, so when such kind of thing happen, then there will be always be a lack of reproducibility. There is also a concern of intellectual property and misleading conclusions. So I will come to the intellectual property later. So this these risks are there because of the unethical things or unethical use of AI tools is happening, and then the researcher has to be cautious enough for it. So what are the things where we can use the for what are the activities where we can make use of AI 100% or let's say part of it or never use it. So what could be the things like say for example let's say formatting the citations, correcting the grammar, improving the text fluency or transcribing the audio. We always can use it, right? This is like a manual clerical work where the AI can help us to improvise or accelerate the work. So it is like here AI is acting as a proofreader or clerical assistant. So that is acceptable. When you're talking about collaborations, many times, let's say when you want to come for the topic modeling or when we are starting a research journey, we need to identify the research area, right? So which topic I should go for? People are very confused. Okay, students are very confused. Being a supervisor, also there are many research scholars come to us and ask us that, ma'am, which topic I should take? Okay, because the researcher is totally one. I am interested in AI. So this is a broad topic. Coming to the final main topic, it has always been advised where this type of generative AI or AI tools help us to narrow down your search. Okay, so when you want to do some kind of brainstorming, asking some kind of recent trends, okay, you want to find out certain kind of literature related to particular topic. Okay, some it is not possible for us to read so many papers. At our time, we have read 100 papers maybe. Okay, and that time we are always used to take like only read abstract and only read conclusions because we cannot read the whole paper. But now the task has become easy with the help of different tools which are getting available, and it is giving directly a summarized thing, right? So that is the thing where we can use it as a conversational colleague. AI can be used as conversational colleague. So I can say not generating the whole literature review of your research, but summarizing the things, understanding the exact key insights. We can always collaborate with AI, and then we can say we can have a 50-50-50 collaboration. Where we should avoid this type of thing, or a human 100% human is required, that is fine, drawing a final conclusions or interpreting the data. Sometimes it happens research scholars plot are a very jazzy plots. They are unaware what those plots are telling, what those heat maps are telling. They are just plotting it. Interpreting the data, interpretation is very important, and then that interpretation is also asked by, to the assistant, AI assistant, which is not at all acceptable, because being a human, the intelligence should be of us as a researcher and not the particular AI assistant. It is just an assistive tool. It doesn't have an actual intelligence. It is just using intelligence of other, whatever material is uploaded from where it has got some information. So it is limited always. Your intelligence cannot be compared with other researchers' intelligence, right? So AI can't perform a scientific thinking or claim intellectual property, and hence it is requested that there should be always in human in loop for drawing such kind of getting certain kind of insights or drawing a conclusions in the research. So this is the whole research cycle where we can see that how the things or the cycles are going on, where we can make use of AI tools, and then should be this type of ethical AI governance where human in loop is important to use, or to have those filters which we talk about, fair T, okay, is very much important to have. Now let's see step by step. I'm just showing you that what kind of tools you can use, AI tools you can use for research purpose, and then we can see that how it can be restricted for some purpose, right? So first, let's say ideation, research problem identification, hypothesis building, this type of thing. I talk about the topic modeling. Obviously, you can narrow down the things with the help of this type of toolboxes like ChatGPT, Gemini, Cloud. So these are actually general purpose LLMs for initial brainstorming and refining the research questions. Okay. Uh, and obviously the cost, we know that these are some at some extent it is free tier, so we can make use of it. Okay, so that is one kind of thing. Consensus type of tool is also there, which is a undermine kind of thing. I will also show some of the other tools which are available for different tasks, which are for which you can make use of it for the different research phases. So there is a specialized AI research assistant undermined to refine specific research questions. So this is kind of a consensus kind of thing. Is a tool. Actually, it is a tool. Okay, which can where you can just ask, upload the question, upload the papers, and ask about the insights on it. Okay, so semantic scholar is one of the underlying database which is being used by this tool, and it is giving the questions or answers on it. Many times it happens that for some of the topics, though the particular topic we can see, we cannot read those papers, but through these tools we can get such kind of information through these specialized AI research assistants. So acceptable techniques is like use AI to challenge your assumptions. Okay, whether whatever you are thinking is correct. So you can get some kind of suggestions. That is like a brainstorming thing. Okay, but you should not use it like for, like you can say, actual discovery or generating a whole literature review for it. They may hallucinate. Hallucination, you know about it, right? Everyone have maybe I don't know, but you must have seen some in some movies about hallucination. It looks like it is real, but it has to be cross-checked as by human. Okay, so many times this hallucination, one of the example I gave you about it. Okay, that you know that this particular citation is given, this type of paper is also given. So I have just done, like, we were in the process of syllabus drafting, and the particular subject was very new, and I was not knowing the any books for it, like new books, new topic, or new some industry trend. That's why the books are not renowned. And I just asked ChatGPT that suggest me some books for this. I got the whole thing, all the listed the books, textbooks with edition, with ISBN number, everything from that ChatGPT. When I cross-checked it, such kind of book was not existing. Such kind of books were not existing actually. Okay, so this is kind of a hallucination. You think that this whatever answer or whatever reply we have got are true or correct, but then we have to cross-check it. So verification is very much important to avoid the hallucinated references. You can check out this type of other books, the tools for the literature review and synthesis. There is SciSpace, there is Consensus, there is Research Rabbit, there is Elicit, this is Cite, and everyone has its own good type of what can I say, the facilities provided. So SciSpace is like reading and synthesis, then Consensus for fast checking or fact checking actually, like synthesizes answers to research questions, focusing on author specific claims. So whatever author has claimed, whether they are correct or not, you can ask questions and you can get the whether the actually those facts are correct or not. Even Research Rabbit is one of the citation mapping tool. It is widely used. It gives you the visual graph, visualizes the relationship between papers and researchers. Okay, this happen like for our researchers, it is not always that we are going to publish a paper which is actually implemented system, but the survey papers are also very much important and useful for other researchers. And then when we want to write a very good research paper or survey paper, that time these type of tools will help you to identify correct references, and then mapping those references or mapping those related references to get the proper survey of that particular topic. So there, this type of tools will help you to have the visualization. Elicit is also one of the information extraction tool, where you know that for used to make use of for citation Mendeley and Zotero type of tools are available. These type of whatever is the research or citation databases you have, like let's say big text files are there that can be imported through this type of tools, and where we can have some kind of summarization information of those all the papers at one site. Okay, so this is site is also a citation like citation context, which it provides supporting or contrasting evidence to a claim. So it also helps us to do a very rigorous literature review and synthesis. So these are some of the tools. I have just stated some of the tools. It is not that all tools are used by me, but as I'm saying that I have just explored those tools which are available. Nowadays, as being a supervisor, we have to guide, give inputs to the students. But being a supervisor, if you are unaware of such kind of tools availability, how you are going to guide your scholars. So that's why it is very much important to know these type of things are available. The phase 3 is like, let's say, data analysis, and here that's the bias trap. Okay, why I'm saying this? Always that when you're when you're a research scholar, or when you being a PhD student having a kind of hypothesis, you always try to prove it is a correct thing, right? But then the data which is there, is it is it unbiased? When you're talking about unbiased, you must be knowing the concept of class imbalance problem, right? So if your database is biased, then you are not going to get the facts. You are going to get whatever you want to listen to, right? And that's why it is very much important that data is analyzed before experimenting. So this is one of the important steps in data science also, correct? Data exploratory analysis. And here, this type of AI tools will help you to provide the insights of the data which is available. Also, it will help you to sample the data. So, sampling, population, measurement, all these things, concepts. Then, cleaning, data processing, data wrangling, data scrubbing, all these things. It can be made very much simpler with the help of these tools, right? And for this, you can definitely make use of these tools. It may happen that sometimes for cleaning the data, you need to have write some kind of Python scripts. Okay, it cannot be manually doing the things is not possible or it is time consuming, right? So that's why here these AI tools will help you. So this is one of the tools which is Avid Note. Okay, there is a Avid Note kind of software or the AI tool is there. It assists you that you just ask the question in an audio form or ask it to do some kind of scripting. It will help you to do it and give you the data insights. Okay, it assists you to find out the missing values. You want to impute something. If the missing values are there, you don't want to remove it. You want to replace it. Okay, you want to reduce the noise. If for that purpose you had to write the Python script, if you want to do that. Okay, so this is one of the generative AI tool which is helping researchers to do it in minutes instead of doing it by own or the by human manually it is doing. But that time you have to check this bias amplifier. Okay, so there is always a data bias. So when you're doing a sampling, what type of samples are selected? Whether there is a class imbalance or not? What type of measurements? Whether the measurements are fair enough, they are unique is same or not. Sometimes it happens. Something is in dollars, something is in rupees, and you are just using it for stock marketing. It should not happen, right? So that type of data check is very much important. Otherwise, you will get some kind of biased decisions from the AI tool, right? So as we know that nowadays people make use of DNA and DLL type of thing, then you yourself, when we ask questions as a supervisor to the research scholar, what features you have used for predicting this, and researchers are saying deep learning does it themselves. We don't know what features they have selected. So is it the actual this answer is acceptable? Initially, we used to use this PCA, feature extraction, feature engineering type of thing, and nowadays we are just giving a particular data set to a, a model. It is acting as a black box and it is giving you the output, right? And that is also not acceptable, as ethically it is not correct when you are saying a person not having a cancer is having a cancer, or even if it is having a cancer, what is the stage of that cancer and what are the different recommendations and such kind of thing. There should be always explainability attached to it. Okay, hence nowadays now research is extended. Initially it is just implementing a machine learning technique, then now it is explainable machine learning technique, and everyone is using the two renowned algorithms, explainable AI algorithm, that is SHAP and LIME. Is it actually a research then? Because everything is known. What extra thing or extra effort the researchers have put and new findings it has come up with is very much important to understand the quality of research. Okay, so that bias amplifier has to be taken care, and that's why we have to have or embed a explainable AI techniques in it, so that we will come to know that which are the features were very much important and given a high weightage for predicting this kind of output. So if you have that type of explanation for it, you will always able to cross check whether the result on which from which the features from the features it has been drawn are really acceptable or not. Okay. This is a very important thing when we are saying publishing a research. Okay, though we are a research supervisor or our students, we need to publish good papers in good journal papers, and then there is a rat race in the publications, and then people are getting trapped in this publication game, right? So where to use, how much to use for the writing and drafting. It is not only publishing the papers, but even a synopsis, even a thesis. When you are submitting something, it has to be taken care. Okay, so proofreading and fluency, grammar checking, keywords based on your complete text when you are saying. So it is somewhat permissible, but writing the whole thing with the AI is not at all acceptable. I give you the what I can say, the main issue is copywriting. Okay, that's why even students are making use of these tools for generating the fake figures or generating the graphs. Okay, and then how, being a researcher or being a supervisor, we are going to verify that really such kind of comparisons are carried out, really such kind of implementation is done, and really this type of accuracy are obtained. Okay, so generating the figures, chart, images, I'm not saying that you have given the rough figure and asking it to generate a good wala figure based on that, that is okay. But generating a figure from scratch, okay, is not at all acceptable. It is like copying AI outputs, right? So that's why it should be avoided. Finally, now when you are talking about some now good journals, I can say, okay, always being a researcher, you should have a checklist for disclosure and submission. You must have come across some kind of statements, declarative statements from the, like when you submit a research in elsewhere or Taylor Francis or let's say Wiley type of journals. Okay, always they give a declarative statements where you need to disclose who are the authors. Okay, you need to disclose the what I can say, the what contribution each author has done. Okay. Similarly, nowadays a new thing is added, that is declaration of use of AI. How much AI, for where you have used AI for making this manuscript is important. So is the data set unbiased and was informed consent obtained? Like as I'm talking about, let's say there is a banking finance type of data is used, or let's say the healthcare type of data is used, which is actually a confidential data, and then consent from the person from where the data set is used has to be taken. Are all AI generated references cross checked and verified? You have to check for it, because there is a hallucination in citations. I just gave an example of a book that is given. Similar kind of thing is happening. Can the models finding mathematically logically explain? So it may happen that students or the scholars have used some tools for generating the code, implementing it, but then it should know that why I have used this algorithm, why I have used this library. If I change it, what can be the effects, or what can be other conclusions. So the things or logic has to be explained or explainable by the scholars. Is AI usage explicitly disclosed in the manuscript? You can see it is written that in preparing this manuscript, the authors use tool names, some kind of thing to support editing. What kind of thing? Okay. All AI assisted suggestions were reviewed, verified. This type of declarative statement. No AI was used to interpret data or draw scientific conclusions. So such kind of disclosures are always now becoming mandatory as part of ethical AI. These are like ethical AI can be a tool also, it can be a guidelines also, and that's why this type of thing researcher has to take care of, disclose the things and give the disclosure where you have used AI for what purpose, and uh, how, what is your contribution. So a typical AI tool we can see like this. Like if you a PhD scholar, we have seen that workflow na, in NA10, right? That tool is given. So scholars has to write a paper, okay, or write a thesis or write a survey paper, how we can make use of AI tools for doing it. He or she can write a, we can say the workflows, and it will get executed automatically. So search papers using semantic scholar, import selected papers into Research Rabbit, use Research Rabbit to discover related work, upload all PDFs to Notebook. Now you have got the related PDFs from Research Rabbit. Upload those on Notebook LM. Now what Notebook LM can do, you can ask or query it. You can create the audios, you can create the videos from those findings, you can create the slides from those from that findings if you have a presentation. Okay. So what are the common limitations, compare methodologies, identify research gaps, summarize future work suggestions. These all things can be done with Notebook LM. Now you can check out that how the work of research scholar is getting less, but then it does the responsibility at least apply the intelligence to verify the things. Okay, apply or it is just a assistive tool to help you to reduce the time, but then when you're using it, don't just take it and publish it. Okay, it is always not ethical to make use of such kind of AI tools this way. I just said that it is not for us. It is not just writing a published paper. It is writing a patent. It is writing the research proposals. Okay. So research proposal is one of the, getting a research grants is important, right? Many people come to me that I have got a grant of ISRO. Okay, I am doing a research project with ISRO, right? Then people come to me and ask, like, guide us how to write research proposals. Now here also these type of tools may help you out. Identify the whatever is the research grant call. Okay, align to that if you want to find out any topic. With respect to that, you want to find out related research papers or projects already done. Okay, all these things you can query these type of tools and get the suggestions. Okay, even you can have a preliminary research proposal also from it, but it doesn't mean that just take that proposal and submit it. You can always, you have to always add the embed the your ideas. I'm not saying that ISRO research project I have got through this type of using this AI tool, because these tools are nowadays have becoming popular. But I have got the grant a few years back. But still, I'm saying that in future I may also use this type of tools for writing a research proposal. So for us, we can use these tools for it. So similar things, I have just listed some few more tools in this. So from this conclusion, what the credible research equation, we can say AI augmentation plus human critical thinking. So speeding up with literature review, formatting, coding, grammatical fluency, you can have these AI augmented tools. But when you are talking about human critical thinking, ensuring the fairness, validating the outputs, drawing conclusions, and taking accountability. When you are writing your name in the paper, you are saying that this research is mine. I have done it. Okay. And if it is wrong, then also whatever are the repercussions, I am going to face it. Right. So that is like an accountability. Who will be accountable for these findings or whatever is the conclusions you are stating on. Okay. And this into transparent disclosure, following journal policies and openly reporting AI assistance will produce a credible research. Okay, unaccessible, high impact publication that survive peer review. Okay, so this is actually an equation, credible research equation. You can just always remember where you should or where you should not make use of AI help or take a help of AI. So these are all the things where you can say these are some of the bias and consequences. As I talked about data ethics and privacy, already talked about, so it has to be taken care. So data and what you can, what are the best practices for data ethics and privacy? data anonymization will remove all the identities. It should be secure storage, that though you have used that databases, okay, it should not be hacked or used by any other person, because you have taken a consent for using it. But it may not happen that when you are disclosing it, then it is coming into public. It should not happen. So that should be a secure storage. Ethical approval is always important. Even healthcare type of research requires some kind of ethical approval. Sometimes we use biomarkers for research, taking like getting the conclusions and everything. So ethical approval is important. You must be knowing about that HIPAA protocol, which is imposed in USA for healthcare type of application. Such kind of regulatory and guidelines has to be followed. So compliance with regulations are always important when you are to complete this thing. I was talking about the explainability. Okay, I have already explained it, that the conclusions are drawn based on which features. Okay, why? Considering the model has predicted something, but why it has predicted this way has to be answered. Okay, and hence there are certain techniques like SHAP, line, feature importance, attention visualization. These are some of the new techniques which are coming up with explainable AI techniques, which we are saying, and has to be, can be used. Okay, and through, so that you can always support your conclusion with the explanation. So don't use this black box model. Okay, you can always when you say it is a black box, you are giving this input and getting this output. Okay, which is not at all. We are getting some kind of discriminatory outcomes. Okay, and then when you are publishing this thing without understanding that whether my results are correct or not, okay, it is like you are losing your academic trust, which is not at all acceptable. So hence there is a necessity of explainable AI. So AI should assist research, not replace scientific technique. Now here you can say about the integrity. Okay, what do you mean by integrity? When you are saying about AI generated manuscript, fake references, data fabrication, and there is a concept called as ghost authorship. Can anybody tell me what do you mean by ghost authorship? I'm just one side I'm talking. So if some people are there, I could see 212 faculty have joined. It is a great thing for me. But if you can just answer me on this, please. What do you mean by ghost authorship without asking ChatGPT? Anyone? What do you mean by ghost authorship? It is kind of a theoretical lecture, but still it is type of a brainstorming, adding additional author without contribution. Yeah. Uh, okay. Okay. Any other answer? Most of it is an unethical practice in academy. Yeah, it's a unethical practice. Sometimes it happens that someone else has written a paper and someone else has put the name of them. So the person who has actually written it is a ghost, right? So it is other way around. So this is type of a thing, that is ghost authorship. And then why I am saying this is let's say for human, but then AI is writing a paper for you and you are writing your name there. Okay, so ghost is who? AI who, right? So that type of ghost authorship is there. And then yeah, uncredited, right? You haven't given a credit who has actually written it. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens. It should not happen, but some kind of incidences. The students have written a paper, or faculty has published it on his name. It happens. or something else that faculty has guided a student has written a paper himself and not given a credit to the teacher. Okay, this is type of a ghost authorship happens and then need to be taken care of. So in case of AI thing, you are just or everything is generated by AI and you are taking a credit of it, which is not acceptable. So we can say some pros and cons for this, like faster ideation and structure brainstorming, wherein hallucinations are there, rapid literature summarization, but always there may be a chances of citation errors, generating non-existent academic references or misattributing claims. Assistance with coding, data formatting, and syntax. It is an accelerating thing, but then algorithmic plagiarism. What do you mean by that? Sometimes I have faced this problem that I have written a paper, I have written an algorithm. It was my thesis, let's say, and then someone else has taken that algorithm, just changed the variables, paraphrased it, and published it as paper. Okay, and this can also happen through using a AI tool that you will get it from your assistant or AI tool, but you are not knowing that whether that algorithm is written by whom. Okay, so it is, and it may happen that some kind of things are already under protected under intellectual property, and that is one of the risks. Okay, and then you may get into some kind of legal actions there, and where you are unaware that this type of algorithm is by someone and it has an IPR on it, right? So that's why you should be very careful. You can use it for language improvement or fluency, but sometimes it is like sometimes it happens, and we also should take care of it that sometimes we upload some unpublished work for taking some answer. Okay, please redraft it or something like that, but then you are taking a risk that you are using or whatever paper you have written want to, and even it is not, either it is not published and you are putting it in a or that this generative AI platform, and they are using it for learning the things. So if you want to file a patent and you have already pasted that idea on the ChatGPT and everything for getting some more insights, you are disclosing the things, so you may lose the rights on it. Okay, so such kind of unpublished sensitive data should not be uploaded open to AI models. Okay, and it will be a risk where you will you can lose your credits. So that is actually not advisable. Hope my PPTs are visible, right?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Yeah. So you should have these ethical issues in academic publishing to be concerned. AI generated papers, predatory journals, you should be very much careful about. Manipulated peer review, duplicate publication, it is happening. You should be aware. So as a researcher also you should be aware that your work should also not be used by someone unethically. So has to be track on. So that is there. So I have given this example. Now I will just touch upon this one of the important or new concept, that is wipe coding. Okay, you must have heard about it. So wipe coding, why I have taken this particular thing is, like, now we being, let's say nowadays everyone is using computers, right? And so when you are saying you want to automate the things, you need to have some kind of program, app, everything. And then this wipe coding, what is this wipe coding? It is just like, you don't have to specify, you don't have to declare the variables, nothing. You have to write it in a simple English or natural language that I want to develop the particular website for this type of application. Okay, and the whole code is ready, the site is ready. Now I gave you this example that student may use it and directly show the projects. Nowadays, we being a board of studies member, we have introduced many mini projects in the subjects, and we are wondering that how students are able to execute so many mini projects and demonstrate in a single semester in different subjects. Have you given a thought on it? And being a BOS, we should also give a thought on this, right? Then you can see they are making use of this type of tools like cursor.ai, one of the tools are there, widely used. Okay, so then being a teacher, it is helpful. Like when you want to generate some rapid prototyping, this is idea. Startups are coming up. Okay, they want to demonstrate something. Then they have that invention, but they don't have that capability of implementing. And then this vibe coding is helping those people. Okay, so that is acceptable, right? But then you have to see that how much understanding student has about that particular coding thing. Otherwise, students will not able to do the coding. Nowadays, that's why now students are not, we are not developing a software developer, but the software engineers who are able to debug, validate, or you can say responsibly take a responsibility of that particular code. Okay, that is very important thing. Okay, so coding by describing requirements is kind of a vibe coding. Okay, so then you have to check on this how students use vibe coding for this. Okay, and then these are some of the vibe coding tools which make you make or the students are using. And why I am introducing this to you people, because we as a faculty should know about it. Okay, so that we should also check whether the students are genuinely written the code or use some kind of generated tool. And rather now we should ask them that you can make use of generative AI tools for this, but then you should be explain the concept, you should be able to explain the concept, you should be able to introduce the changes, you should be able to debug the things, you should be able to reproduce the things. Okay, now the evaluation pattern should be changed with respect to students by we as faculty. That is my opinion. Okay, so these are some of the use, and then we can say it enhances the productivity, but genuine research requires intellectual ownership, critical thinking, and validation beyond AI generated outputs. Code तो बन गया. Okay, sorting, you write a code for sorting, but when you optimize this code, then student, whether the student is able to do it is the question, and then that type of evaluation can be taken care. And then with this vibe coding, you need to have these precautions like an ethical concerns, like blind acceptance of AI generated code should not be there. Hidden bugs and security vulnerability has to be checked. Okay, there should not be a lack of understanding of underlying algorithm. Students or researchers should know it. This is not only for students, it is for researchers also, because we are making use of many huge models and everything. And sometimes nowadays people are making or doing a multidisciplinary research, and that time it is not always possible that you are good at coding. Then this type of vibe coding techniques will help researchers to get the fast prototyping. But how that algorithm is working is important. It is not necessary how that syntax is written. So syntax is nowadays not important, but the logic is important, which research scholar should be aware of. And then I talked about reproducibility and potential plagiarism should not be there. It should not, like previously student used to change the variable names and demonstrate the same program. Should not happen. The same kind of thing may be happen. So that should not be there. Yeah, so I have explained this. So this is some kind of thing where do's and don'ts are there, where we can use, we should not use. So responsible use of generative AI, verify outputs, cross-check references, disclose AI usage, use AI as an assistant, don't copy blindly, don't generate fake data, and don't submit AI-generated work without validation. Okay, I would not say with validation also you say send it as a AI generated. That should be as mentioned that 60 to 80% your contribution should be there. Yeah. So this is some kind of case study, like a PhD student uses a chat GPT to write a literature review, generate a code, draft methodology. So is it a ethical thing? What are the things which are ethical? All these things are ethical. When a PhD student uses a chat GPT for generating a code, writing a literature review, draft the methodology. what is acceptable, what is not acceptable if you are a research supervisor. Okay. This was something like I wanted to just break the one side dialogue. This is, can you people scan this QR code and answer me the questions? Let's see how many are really in the meeting. I could say 212 people. So just give me the answer. This is a kind of a survey. Whatever I have talked about, I just need your opinions. Which of the following uses of AI in research are ethically acceptable? Can you just scan this QR code and give me the answers? Let's see, like I am thinking that people are scanning the QR code and may have taken a photo of it. So I will see how many have actually responded to the survey. I will get the inputs, right? I will just wait for 2 minutes. As such, I have 20 minutes, 10 minutes actually. So this is one of the technique, pedagogical technique. Like students are getting bored, they are getting sleepy. Then we should introduce some kind of interruption for the research scholars. And here we being the colleague, or let's say all our faculty, let's play a game type of thing. So I will just insist you people to give me the survey feedback. Can anyone just acknowledge? You can just scan it with your camera. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Amar sir. Camera, or you can get this thing and you can just give me the survey feedback. Okay. Yeah. So I was talking about ethical AI versus responsible AI, right? So what is ethical AI? Ethical AI tells you what values and principles should guide AI, right? Because these are nothing but the what we should do, what we should not do. When you're saying ethics, it relates to humanity, okay? So these are stated things, okay, but how we will ensure it, okay, is important. I am saying don't do this, this should not, this is not good, this is not good, this should be done, this should not be done. Who will verify it? For students also, we will ask students that don't make use of AI tools for generating a code. You will not get practice. What you will learn, all these things we are telling them. Okay, still they are demonstrating the mini project with that particular type of AI generated code. Okay, so ethically we are telling that this should not happen. Okay, but then there should be some kind of responsible AI who will take care that such kind of unethical things should not happen, and if it is happening, how we can detect it. Okay, so that is actually a difference between ethical AI and responsible AI. Okay, so how do we implement, govern and enforce those principles in practice is responsible AI. Okay, and now I am giving you a different angle. I am talking about ethics, what to do, what not to do, right? But now, being a researcher, you may get so many problem statements to carry out a research for this responsible AI. Okay, and that is very important. So you can check out that what kind of techniques, and this is also in an AI domain, and applications that you can develop as a researcher. Okay, so these are some of the existing ones, but how you can improvise it. Still, AI is not able to detect whether the code is generated by the AI generated tool or the person. So we, being a smart teachers, can detect it with our intelligence only, right? So there are certain algorithms. We call it, one is like paper mill detection algorithm is there, which detects the fraudulent or mass produced research papers. Then fine tune BERT models for tortured phrases. Like it identified the nonsensical paraphrasing used to evade the plagiarism detection. There is a graph neural network which is being used nowadays for detecting of citation leaks. Now I told that give the visual graphs, but then it will give you some kind of links and some kind of patterns using a graph neural network, which will help you to detect this type of hallucinated citations. Even some images are generated, fake images are generated, or AI generated images where there is no technical contribution of yours. So there are certain image forensic tools which can be developed using computer vision and deep learning techniques, which detects the AI generated duplicated or manipulated or fabricated figures. Okay. Then there can be an AI generated text detection which have been used by these plagiarism softwares, but still they are not able to detect. Now I should not tell you the we can say the backways, right? How to humanize the thing and everything. People are doing it that way, where it will not be detected by this type of plagiarism softwares. Okay, so then that particular algorithm has to become rigid, so that type of research can be carried out by you people. Even authorship verification to detect ghostwriting or authorship inconsistencies through the authorship verification algorithm, which you people as a researcher can develop. Okay, yeah, I will stop in 5 minutes. Yeah. So these are some of the opportunities. Even there was one case related to intellectual property. Okay, there was a case where a person called as Stephen Thaler, okay, generated a tool, developed one tool, DABUS, that is device for the autonomous bootstrapping of unified sentinels. Okay, and then this Dabus was actually not type of a, it is type of a generative AI, but it is not an assistant. It was not taking any input. It doesn't require any prompt. It works itself. It is an autonomous thing. And that particular tool developed two inventions. There is fractal beverage container and an emergency warning beacon that was developed. And then this person, Stephen Thaler, what he did is he filed a patent globally naming that AI is the sole inventor of it. Okay, and then whether a particular AI tool can be or AI generated software tool or program can be an inventor. Okay, how he will get an intellectual property on it. Okay, then this was rejected by these all countries. Only South Africa accepted it. Okay, but that was an exception. But then it was not at all accepted on the basis that inventor must be human being under US patent law. You can see this type of invention has been done by this particular device or the AI generated tool. Okay, so here there are certain kind of questions that how and why this type of inventor AI cannot be inventor, because of this type of thing that who will be accountable if there is some kind of mishap. So accountability is missing, and hence there is a failure to give the authorship test. Okay. Now these are two tools, that is EIA and RAM. Okay, that is like EIA is the ethical impact assessment and readiness assessment methodology. These are two of the frameworks or tools given by UNESCO. Okay, so there should be some kind of AI governance, na? So that's why it is very much important to identify the ethical risks before AI development deployment. Okay, so everything is like Avengers, right? It will become Avengers. All the there will be some kind of spaceship going around, right? So that's why there are certain guidelines which are coming into picture called as tools, AI tools, and accordingly the particular framework is imposed for ethical AI guidelines. Okay, so yeah, I know that I'm running out of time. But still, yeah, so this is like there should be a governance, and hence these are some of the tools which are being provided. So RAM is one thing which is evaluate institutional preparedness for ethical AI adoption, where it has to check or assess on the legal and regulatory readiness, ethical governance, research and education capacity, digital infrastructure, economic and innovation ecosystem, social inclusion and human rights. This is like at the university or the, let's say, at the level of institution. This type of tool is imposed for checking of ethical AI use. Okay, and similar kind of tool which I was talking about by given by this is EIA, that is ethical impact assessment, which identifies the ethical risk, evaluates the impacts on individuals, assesses these six principles, defines mitigation strategies if something happens, and supports trustworthy and responsible AI research. You can check here also, you can make a workflow and it can execute it. But obviously, human in loop, transparency, and accountability will lead us to the trustworthy AI research. Okay. So yes, these are some of the emerging areas of for with respect to ethical AI we can explore and we can have a research upon. So again, I am giving a transparency note regarding the use of AI tools for generating or presenting this work, even the information. But yes, I have written here that it has been verified, evaluated by me. Okay, thank you. So AI can accelerate discovery, but ethics ensures that discovery benefits humanity. Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am, for an insightful session. Today we have learned like how AI is becoming part of our every stage of our research life cycle
Yeah.
and how it can be used ethically and responsibly.
Yes.
So
Thank
thank
you.
you so much.
Yeah.
On behalf of Walchand Institute of Technology and all the participants, I extend our sincere gratitude for sharing your valuable time and expertise with us. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes, thank you. I will share, ma'am. Can you share phase one slide again? I will later say, share it. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.